Good morning, good evening, and good night. However, you may be watching and however you may be listening, this is FC Barcelona Central. I am your host, Pedro, and you can also find me on social media under Orrutio. Hold on to your seats, culés, because the future of Barcelona just got accelerated. We're not just talking about goals and trophies today. We are talking about the very soul and the future of this club. President Joan Laporta has just dropped a bombshell regarding the 2026 elections that changes everything starting this week. But that's not all. While the office is burning up with news, the transfer market just finished on February 2nd. And it was sort of a closing, a disaster for our finances involving one particular player, Oscar Mingueza. Also, our rivals in Madrid are facing a massive fan revolt over their lack of signing this winter. We have a lot to cover, so let's dive into the news. We're going to start with Barcelona securing the semi-final spot after a hard-fought win in Albacete for the Copa del Rey. Barcelona did not just falter during the visit to Albacete in their victory 2-1, successfully qualifying for the Copa del Rey semi-final. They overcame a stubborn Machengo side that made things very difficult, dreaming of another epic night following the previous round of victory against Real Madrid. A brilliant Lamine Yamal opened the scoring and led the Catalans towards victory, while Araujo played in a starting role since last time he did it in November. He scored the 2-0, and a late goal by Javi Moreno sparked hope for the hosts, but it wasn't enough to topple the reigning champions. The key lineup changes for this game was the most notable news of the Blaugrana starting 11 was Ronald Araujo, his first start since the expulsion at Stamford Bridge, and the subsequent absence for him to recover mentally. Hansi Flick also handed a start to Cancelo and made 4 other rotations following the win in Elche. Gerard Martin, Marc Bernal, Lewandowski, and Rashford replaced Cubarsí, Fermín, Ferran, and the injured Rafinha. They joined Joan Garcia, Eric, who's now playing without his protective mask, and De Jong, Dani Olmo, and Lamine Yamal in the hunt for the semifinal ticket. Listen, Joao Cancelo, not great so far. These 2 performances that he has played, pretty poor. He didn't even last more than 46 minutes. The Carlos Belmonte Stadium was packed to the brim, welcoming a Barcelona for the first time over 20 years. Despite the electric atmosphere, Barca was alert. Rashford had 2 early chances to open up the scoring within the first 10 minutes, but failed to capitalize. In the other end, a risky giveaway by Lamine Yamal led to Albacete's first real threat after Puertas. No, through Puertas. But Joan Garcia was solid between the posts. I mean, he had a little disconnect there where he suddenly walked out of the pitch to sort of celebrate or talk to Ronald Araujo when he had the ball in his hand. That was a weird sequence. As the half progressed, Barcelona dominated possession, but their predictable rhythm struggled to break down the opposition's goal. Just as it seems, the team will go into the break scoreless. But Lamine Yamal appeared in the 34th minute. De Jong and Rashford won the ball back high and up the pitch, something that Hansi Flick loved, and it happened to be the signature for this team. And the Dutchman assisted our number 10, who finished the first time into the far corner, making Lamine Yamal 5th goal in the last 6 games, confirming his spectacular form. Fleet made a tactical move in halftime, replacing Cancelo, who had 1 yellow card, with Cubarsí, shifting Eric Garcia to the right back. Shortly after the restart, the lead was double, followed by a corner delivered by Rashford. Araujo rose highest at the near post to power a header into the back of the net. The Uruguayan celebrated and shared a significant hug with Flick, showing his gratitude for the coach management during the recent personal struggle. Despite the 0-2 deficit, Albacete's manager threw everything at the game. The Cup hero, Jefftre, came on and had 2 clear chances but lacked precision. Flick responded by bringing Ferran Torres, Fermin, Casado, and later Koundé, replacing Araujo as a precaution. I mean, he has not played in like almost 2 months. 3 months, I think. The match reached the boiling point in the final minute where Jefte had a goal rule out of, offside before having Moreno finally pull one back with a header. That was pretty much crazy. Caught everybody off guard, setting up for a fantastic finish. The stadium went wild while Ferran Torres thought he had to silence the crowd with a third goal. It was also nullified because of an offside. And in the dying seconds, Gerard Martin was forced to clear Fran Gamez's effort off the goal in the line to prevent the extra time with a magical header. Ultimately, Barca survived the late outlast and certified their presence to the semifinal once again. Continuing their defense of the Copa del Rey crown, they now await Friday's draw to discover the next opponent. That was pretty intense game, guys. It was pretty rough. But that is not all the news that I have for today. I have a lot more to cover. It is official. Joan Laporta has confirmed that this past Monday, on February, that in this coming Monday, actually, yes, next week on February 9th, he and a significant portion of the board will formally resign. Well, to trigger this electoral process for the March 15th elections, Joan Laporta wants to model a democratic process, saying that he feels full of energy and strength to seek a re-election. While Laporta stepped down to focus on his campaign, others like Rafael Juste will lead a management commission to keep the club running, the day-to-day operations. It's going to be a battle here. Names like Victor Ford, Maric Siria, Xavi Villajuana, and Joan Camprudi are already warming up to be in the campaign for these elections. Laporta called for cordial among all the fans, but make no mistake, this will be a fight for the future of the Spotify camp. No, early polls already suggest that Laporta is the front runner, but a month in Barca politics is like a decade elsewhere. With the election looming, the club is not stopping. Barca has officially presents its candidacy to host the 2029 Champions League final at the new Spotify Camp Nou. The club is already working hand in hand with the city council to make this happen. The final dossier will be submitted on June 2026. Laporta said that the bid and also the 2030 World Cup are rumors to be in the final. The Spotify Camp Nou is set to become the center of the football world for the next coming years. Now, for some news that is going to hurt our bank account, something that we've been keeping an eye on. The winter transfer window is closed, and Barca fans were hoping for the result from Oscar Mingueza, his situations. Juventus currently actually made an offer to Celta de Vigo for Mingueza 2 days ago before the winter transfer market close, but Celta rejected it. Why? Well, because Barca owns 50% of his rights. Celta is being very petty, and they realized that after giving half of the money to Barca, it wasn't worth losing their star player for a small profit. Since then, Mingueza's contract, remember, ends this summer. He will likely join Juventus for free in July. That means Barca gets €0. We are in the same situation with Mika Marmol at Las Palmas, which means two players were expected to make millions from now living for free. It is a tough pill to swallow for our directive and for our finances. Now let's move into to peek around the curtain for our biggest rival. Real Madrid fans are furious despite having Rudiger, Militao, Mendy, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Remember, they are all injured or struggling. Florentino Perez refused to sign a single defender in January. Madrid is down to 23 players, relying on youngsters like Asensio, who is playing with pain. Florentino Perez hasn't signed anyone in this winter for over 6 years, believing that the squad is enough. But after the banana skin incident at Albacete and the defensive gap, the Madridistas are starting to doubt if they can survive the Champions League and the La Liga with such a team to win any trophy at all. I mean, listen, we're not complaining, but we definitely have to keep an eye on what's happening in everything, on Real Madrid. What a day for Barca fans. Yesterday it was pretty intense from beginning to end. We have a presidency up for grabs in a potential Champions League final finally coming home as a host, because we most likely will reach the final this year. Also, it is a bittersweet taste for our transfers. In the terms of getting money in. Who do you want to see landing the 2026 landing in our club? Is Laporta still the man to finish the stadium project, or is it time for a new fresh face like Victor Font? And what do you think about the Mingueza situation? Was it a mistake by the board, or to let this contract run out until the end? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, even though there's not a lot, but I try to engage with you guys. Please like this video. Share it with your fellow culés, share it with your Madrid, counterparts, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single beat on these historic elections. Until next time, and Visca Barça!